Welcome to our Football Officials video training series. We're studying the National Federation of High School Rules and five-man mechanics. This video is produced by the Arkansas Association of High School Officials. We're helping good officials get better. Technical assistance provided by Dax Hill, Greg Dowdham, and George Demetrio. Our producer is Matt Biven. Executive producer is Walt Coleman. And I'm your host, Todd Allen. All right, let's get started with play number one. And let me just say this about our crews. When you send a play in and your note is something like, hey, I think we missed this, but you're putting yourself out there, that says a lot about the character of a football official. This is a guy that wants to get better. When he sends a play in and says, I think we missed this, and wants some feedback. And that just really impresses me. And boy, I've had a lot of emails this week and a few phone calls just about what's going on and how we handle this situation or what's going on with this. And I appreciate all of that feedback and comments. And thank you very much. But let's take a look at this play, because this is an interesting play, and there's a couple elements that I want to talk about. Might surprise you. We have twins on both sides here, single back. And who stays in, the quarterback drops back and then hits this receiver dragging across from the bottom. And he gets wrapped up by two defenders. This second defender in right here, this is suspect to me, but it looks like a miss. But anyway, then we spin the receiver around and have this hit by number 2. Ooh, and that is just nasty. And yeah, we lower the helmet. We hit with the crown of the head above the shoulders. We hit him right in the face mask. And that is a nasty lick. And we do get a flag on this. Great job. I believe it's the umpire that throws the flag on this play. And then we have this conference. I had the privilege this past weekend of working with a referee out of Colorado. And we were reviewing a game, his previous game from the week before. And he made the comment that I think I got into this discussion too early. Because if you're not involved in the play, as a referee, you need to stay back and let the officials that are covering dissect the play and go through it and come up with what they want to do with the play, and then just deliver it to you and you can make this announcement. But we see here in this situation exactly what happened with my referee from Colorado. We get involved in this play because the referee is in this discussion, and the only thing he might possibly be able to say is, I can't help you. But the conversation here is obviously, do we have targeting? Is this a disqualifying offense? And I like the way the crew got together. Even an official who was covering but didn't have a flag got involved in the discussion. And what we're looking for is confirmation. Do we have a disqualifying offense here? And I like that the crew did not disqualify here, although looking at this video, this is clearly a targeting foul, and we should have disqualified. But angles being what they are, we want two officials to have a look at a play and confirm with each other that it is targeting before we disqualify. The game just happens too fast. If we can get two looks and we can confirm that a targeting foul took place and we disqualify, I think we're on much, much better ground here. But this one is just a nasty play. But kudos to the crew. We got a flag down. We did miss the disqualification, but we just couldn't confirm it on the field. So when in doubt, we did not set him out. Good job by this crew, and thanks for sending this play in. All right, this next play we're going to take a look at. It's got some interesting aspects. But before we get into the play, I want to talk about keys at the snap. But before the snap, of course, we're going to start with the line of scrimmage. We know you guys are staring right down the barrel. You've got everybody on the line of scrimmage for false starts. And then the referee picks up everybody in the backfield. Umpire also looking at the line of scrimmage and the players that are near or around the ball. And the legality of the snap is very important as well. So now, as the snap happens, who are we looking at based on this formation right here? Let's start with the line judge at the bottom of the screen. And the line judge is going to take this widest receiver as well as this tight end who is actually in an eligible position. He does not have a hand down. So I'm going to say you're going to watch this guy as well as the play develops and just kind of read and react and see where he goes. So back judge, you're going to have this slot receiver and you're also going to have an eyeball on this tight end to see what he does. I would think if he comes straight down the field right after, you stay with him. If he stays in and blocks, it's a little bit more of an interesting dynamic because we know the line of scrimmage is going to take this guy down the field. So you just got to kind of read and react what these players do, and we may have to have some help from the umpire and referee if this tight end stays in and blocks. It's just so tough with 5 officials, and I know I say that every week and you probably get tired of it, but it's important to know. Umpires, you're looking at guard, center guard, of course, and head linesman on the top of the screen here. You have got this player who's wide on your side, as well as initially you're going to take a look at the back in the backfield and see what he does. So just very difficult to to watch two eligibles when they split the field and do two different things, as we're going to see in this play. So let's run the play now and see that the quarterback's just going to hand the ball off to the sole running back, the lone back in the backfield, and he goes up the middle over toward the left guard's position, left tackle position, runs up it right in the middle, comes right at the umpire, who does a good job of backing up to keep the field open to him. Let's look, all of his keys, guard, center guard, are right here driving this play. And I want to point out one other player, number 21. This guy was originally in the slot on the line judge's side of the field and who the back judge was looking at. Now, from the umpire's position here, you can tell that he has no perspective of player number 21. And as this play continues to develop, 21 comes back in toward the position of the ball carrier and is directly behind this defender. The player that's going to attempt to make the tackle actually dives down at the feet, goes low, and I don't know if the umpire thinks he gets blocked in the back. I don't really know, or if the umpire just straight lined behind 21, thinks that 21 pushes his player in the back, but we can tell from the end zone shot here, there is no contact late in this play when the flag comes out. I believe the umpire guesses that there is a block in the back here because the player's directly behind him and he sees him move, come forward, but I just think he's making a play on the ball carrier because there is no contact or no significant contact here. And I think what we do is guess, and when we guess, most of the time we're wrong. And there's just nothing on film here that looks like a block in the back, and we get a call from the coach wondering what did we see? Did we get fooled by this player falling down, or not falling down, but actually going low against the ball carrier and think there was a block in the back? The important thing about this play that I want to pass on to you is, umpire, this is not your key. I don't have a problem with you calling an obvious foul that you see on someone who's not your key. That's great officiating. You can save the crew. But when it's not obviously a foul, back judge, you should know that the umpire is calling a block in the back on a key that you followed all the way through the play. And you should have an opinion with the umpire about whether there was contact in the back. And I think you can help us here. I think you do have the angle that opens up to you, and you do know whether or not there's contact. And I know that you did not think there was a block in the back, because with your key following all through the play, you would have thrown the flag on this. And we only have one flag for a potential block in the back here. So umpire, important that you find out whose key this was and have a conversation with them. But more importantly, don't guess. You are absolutely straight lined on this play, and you do not have the proper perspective to rule correctly on a block in the back. And that's why this play is graded as an incorrect call for a block in the back. Perspective, following your keys, having a conversation with other officials who are keen on these players at the snap and throughout the down is important if we're going to get calls right for things like blocks in the back. All right, here's a fun play to talk about, and we're going to really muddy the water today, but we're also going to get a little bit better at the rule. I wanted to make sure that we knew the rule, had read the rule together and had a comprehensive understanding, because we need to be able to answer these questions during the game on the sideline and make them crystal clear to the coaches so there's no confusion, because we were asked a question about eligibility and tight end on this play, and I think that we didn't quite convey the message we wanted to in our answer. So let's review the rule 7.5.6, and it just says pass eligibility rules apply only to a legal forward pass, and the following players are eligible pass receivers. In A, all A players eligible by position and number, including those who at the time of the snap are on the ends of their scrimmage line or legally behind the line, and a possible total number of 6, and are numbered 1 through 49 or 80 through 99, and 7.2.5b exception 2 gets into scrimmage kick formations, which we'll tackle at another time. And B just says all A players become eligible when B touches a legal forward pass. And this makes a lineman eligible to catch a forward pass when it is tipped right as it leaves the quarterback's hand and goes straight up into the air, and one of these big linemen ends up catching it and running, and it's a legal play, because once team B touches a legal forward pass, then all A players become eligible. All B players are always eligible, and a player who's eligible at the start of the down remains eligible throughout the down. So let's watch this play together. And the quarterback just drops it to one of his backs out on the far side, runs down for about a 20-yard gain. But let's back it back up to the beginning, because this play should have jumped out at us. And we've got all three of these receivers on this side, the tight end and the wide out and the slot receiver, all three go down. So for that to happen and we not to have a flag for an ineligible downfield, we had to have ruled that this wide receiver was off the line of scrimmage. So if the wide receiver's off, the slot's off, the quarterback is of course off, and then these two backs are off. Now we've got 5 backs in the backfield. This is an illegal formation. And as soon as they snap the ball, we should have had a flag down. We want to make the formation legal any way we can. if this tight end stays in blocks, I've got this wide receiver on the line of scrimmage. And I would just have that in the back of my mind as this play develops, because I want to make this formation legal if I can. But we look at where the ball is. The head linesman, judging by his position on the field, he's on about the 40.5. So the ball is probably near the 40.5, maybe the 41-yard line. This receiver looks like from this camera angle that his foot's on the 42. So this slot receiver here is standing up. He's almost in no man's land because his head's not breaking the waistband of the player on the line of scrimmage next to him, and he's not clearly a back. So, it's problematic where this player is positioned. And I would say, the first time I saw this, I would go to the coach and say, hey, this guy's either got to be a back or he's got to get up on the line of scrimmage. He can't be in no man's land. There's only one player that can be in no man's land, and that is the player who's in a direct position to receive a hand-to-hand snap. Now, he doesn't have to receive the snap, and so what we're talking about is a T-formation quarterback, a quarterback whose hands between the center's legs, and he's going to take the direct hand-to-hand snap. That player is in no man's land, and he's legal to be there. But this player is not, this slot receiver who's standing right by the tight end. But you can tell he's not on the line of scrimmage. I would make him a back also. But the tight end does go out, of course, and the wide receiver and the slot receiver go out. Both the backs go out, the quarterback's there. So this is an illegal formation. We got a choice here. We can either call ineligible downfield for the tight end going downfield, or we can call an illegal formation. Now, when is it proper to throw a flag for an ineligible downfield? Eligibility is determined by number and position, which we just learned in the rule. So if we call this player the end player on the line of scrimmage and make him eligible, of course he has an eligible number on, he goes downfield. Now if he's covered up and he goes beyond the neutral zone expanded, we know the neutral zone expands 2 yards toward the defensive side of the ball. So if he goes more than 2 yards, so if he gets to the 38-yard line or beyond and a ball crosses the neutral zone, then he is ineligible downfield, and we would want a flag thrown. Doesn't matter who they throw it to. If the ball crosses the neutral zone, then we want ineligible players to be penalized as ineligibles downfield. That's a point of emphasis this year. So we need to make sure that we're well aware of how this plays out and what it does. Here is a case where we had either two opportunities to call an ineligible downfield or an illegal formation, and we didn't, and they rip off 20 yards on the play. Improperly officiated. You must understand formations, eligibility, what makes players eligible and not eligible, and having a good understanding of 7.5.6 will make you a better football official, recognizing these illegal formations or ineligible players downfield, and you can confidently answer questions from the coaches about eligibility on any given play. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. Our videos are geared toward the questions and comments we get from coaches and officials. So you see, this week we've been a little more based on the rules because we have been getting a lot of feedback about are we properly administering the rules of the game. So we're trying to use these videos to help you get better, help you be better prepared for next week, and a lot of mechanic stuff too, and working together as a crew. And we talk about the blocks in the back that just keeps coming up and keeps coming up because we keep missing them. But for every play on here we show where we have a miss, there are literally hundreds of plays where we get those calls right. So I don't want to be too focused on the negative. You guys are doing a fantastic job. I appreciate your hard work. And I know that those of you who are watching these videos are doing the extra things each week to get your crew ready, to be ready to go out there and do the very best you can for the kids that love this game. And I certainly appreciate that. Email if you have questions, comments, or things you'd like to see us cover in these videos. We'd love to hear from you. ToddAllen65@gmail.com. For the Arkansas Association of High School Officials, this is Todd Allen saying I hope to see you on the field real soon.